Hello, welcome to Rock Reacts. My name is Simon. This man right here is
JD the Prophet.
Right between our, as you know, we record in blocks because we live far away from each other. The man Drake went and dropped Scorpion.
Yep.
Big brand new album, so it's like we've got to react to some of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing. Simple as that. Nice and easy.
You know, I always want to be completely honest. Drizzy basically dropped this record very shortly after our last recording session. I knew we were going to be recording for a month. I was away on a 2-week vacation. Simon went and broke his collarbone, so that pushed it back another week.
Collarbone.
Notice that we still didn't miss a daily upload. Hardest working channel in the game.
Point out, yeah. And I was still editing with one arm. Not easy. Not easy.
But I just want to be completely honest. I have heard this album. I've heard it a bunch of times. So I personally selected
25 songs.
Yeah, it's a double album.
Calm down,
It's got like
Drake.
a rap side and a kind of R&B side.
Right.
So we could have done In My Feelings. That's number one at the moment, and that, I don't know if you saw the big dance craze.
Nope.
And basically
As always,
that song to number one.
As always, didn't see nothing.
But I don't. That song's okay, but you know. But my favourite track on the album is Emotionless. I think there's a few great tracks on the album on the rap side, but I really like this track.
This rap side?
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to pick this one to do it. I know people are liking this track, so that's it. But
right.
yeah, again, I've heard this song.
I'm laughing because there's an advert for Rick Astley's new album at the bottom of this page. It just made me laugh.
Click here to listen while you've got Drake up. Yeah, I'm
good.
I'm
just
good.
made me laugh. Sorry, I didn't interrupt. Yeah, John said I haven't heard it. Literally know nothing. Didn't even know about this dance craze. Completely brand new to me. Obviously, I know Drake. He's okay. I don't like him as a lot of people do. But yeah, you know,
Let's do it.
I can't even capture the feeling I had at first. Meeting all my heroes like seeing how magic works.
Love that lyric. Meeting all my heroes like seeing how magic works.
I don't get it.
Well, it's like meeting all your heroes and they're nowhere near what.
Oh,
what you built them up to be in your mind.
Yeah,
like
like
you ruin a magic trick by
reality.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I didn't pick up on that. What was the song that he did off this album where he admitted he had a kid? Is this one?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go. I hadn't heard it, but I just know that was it.
Yeah, there's a few, but
the Twitter
this is
moment.
yeah.
That's what I know, yeah.
This was the first.
Right,
So this is like the fourth track on the first side.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Most times it's just somebody that's underage, that's probably just alone and afraid, and lashing out so that someone else can feel their pain.
Well, I've not listened to enough of Drake as a rapper apart from this record. I haven't listened to all the way through his other records, and I know there's tons of requests for older stuff, and we will definitely get to them. But he dropped new music, so we decided to do that instead. And yeah, that whole bit, just talking. What I've really appreciated listening to this is how concise he is with his words. I love the guys who are really complicated with their rhyme schemes and they fold words.
He's more just in your face.
Yeah.
I also respect how open he is for a guy that's as big as he is. I know he talks about other stuff as well, but even the small stuff, saying almost needing and appreciating that praise from random strangers to sort of get his self-worth and his self-esteem. I think there's a lot of people deal with that kind of stuff. So for someone that's sort of as important and big as Drake to just happen to sort of spout out during a song, like you say, is effortlessly and easy, and just there it is. There's powerful stuff.
Definitely. And I mean, the first time I heard this, I pretty much heard the whole message of the track, which for hip hop can be really difficult. Like if they have gone for a slightly more complicated rhyme scheme, or they really want to sort of flex with their lyrical ability. I love that. Don't get me wrong, I really do. And like Kendrick's the perfect example, but it takes multiple listens. But as a writer, somebody who's been writing for magazines for years, you're taught and you learn to be concise, to be brief, to be able to get your ideas across.
Not to be too flowery with your language.
Exactly that. Especially when we worked on magazines and you maybe have 100 words to write. It's a bit different online now because there's not so. Yeah,
but still, like sell this idea in a small amount of possible. Yeah.
And listening to this made me realise that Drake is kind of a master at that, because that to me is really slick writing. It's clever, it's poignant, it's interesting, it rhymes well, but it's not difficult. It's really simple.
I think that's the key, right? It's about making sure that meaning still exists without having to be overly complicated, right? We've heard pop songs, but it's literally like walking down the street, looking at my feet, that kind of stuff.
There's real substance to this.
That's the thing. What he's saying, I think, because he's being honest and he's not holding back. That's why it doesn't even matter that he is saying it like A, B, C, D, because A, B, C, D is like geez, that's, and you can relate to a lot of the stuff he says as well. Like again, he talked about. I didn't pick up on it at the time. Very tired. The difficulty of meeting your heroes. Yeah. Again, as we talked about, the need for the general public just to say nice things because it means something to people he doesn't know which team he's on, all these kind of stuff. Yeah. It's. I
mean, just going back a tiny bit, we don't do this enough actually, especially with hip hop, because it's probably a good idea to listen a couple of times. But
End of the shade. Most times it's just somebody that's underage, that's probably just alone and afraid, and lashing out so that someone else can feel their pain. I always hear people complain about
that simple little 2 bars there or whatever it was, even single bars.
That's
really important for people who have any sort of following or deal with anything online, to hear somebody like Drake talking about what it's like. You were talking to me today about you've been getting some grief online. Anybody who's put content out there has got grief online. We get someone on The Rock Reacts. Everybody does, and obviously some people get way more than others. And I'm sure, especially with everything that he's been going through with the Pusha T thing and everything,
it's been crazy. Yeah.
So, but he's right. Quite often it is somebody who's underage who's lashing out because they're afraid or whatever it is, and you're totally right to remember that. And it's actually, you can almost feel sorry for the person that's doing that.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's good that he's not being overly complicated with it. Sometimes you just need to get that message across to the right people. And clearly he's writing this, I'm sure, for himself, but also for other people to say, hey man,
and he's very aware that his audience is basically about as big as it can get.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the reasons he does it. So you don't want to get too over the top with it, because maybe that message won't get through to the person it needs to. And clearly, certainly seems to me anyway, I mean, it had one track, but from this track, that seems to be a part of the idea that he's getting at.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, that's how he got so big in the first place, by being one of the first rappers to be that open and not have to be hard.
Exactly, and hit you right there. Yeah. Hit that. If someone's had a bad day and they hear Drake, that's how I feel. Yeah. I can now relate to this guy. He talked about meeting your heroes and stuff. Yeah. Maybe he actually understands that it's important to set a good example and kind of live up to those expectations and not upset people.
And it's quite amazing that the Champagne Papi, as he calls himself, the biggest artist in the world, I think that's probably fair to say, in 2019, is a relatable guy. Yeah. I mean, that's quite something, because that's not really that
ever happens. I mean, if you go back 20, 30 years of Michael Jackson, it was just almost like it wasn't even real. It was a cartoon character. Like, it was just, the thought of ever meeting him was like, well, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
It's just a thing.
Like superhero.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't really feel like that today, especially people like Drake. And maybe that's why, because he's singing about or rapping about things that are important. Although Michael Jackson wasn't, but that hit people.
Yeah, and the fact that he can make his crazy, insane, impossible life relatable is quite a skill.
And goes to show that no matter what, success or not, people struggle.
Oh god, yeah.
I know a girl whose one goal was to visit Rome. Then she finally got to Rome, and all she did was post pictures for people at home. Cause all that mattered was impressing everybody she's known. Pictures from places she's flown. The post
and everything we just said times 2. I mean, there you go, man. He's hitting around the nose every time. There you go.
These are thoughts I've had. They're not thought. People talk about this all the time. People living that magical life on social media. Like, these are common threads of conversation, right? Especially among people who are thoughtful, intelligent people. Like, he's not breaking the mold, but he's managed to distill that into very palatable 4 bars.
Exactly, and he has a platform to do it. Like, it's really easy to get to the top and not have to worry about that stuff, because really you don't. But that's why sometimes, again, being simple and being straightforward when you have the platform does change everything. It is a different context, because like you say, those 8 bars, whatever we just heard, well, here's the thing, and everyone's like, yep. So,
and the thing is, we're in our mid-30s and we've seen social media come
in.
What it is, we were there at the birth of the internet, basically.
John told me about Twitter. And I went, what is that? You don't remember that?
I think I was the first person in the place that we worked at.
You were. John told me, you should join Twitter. And he explained the concept, and I went, I get it. I remember that. It's a real thing.
There you go. But there are people 20 years younger than us, it pains me to say that can really probably do with hearing that from Drake. And being like, fuck that. Because they might not have thought that and they're seeing they're seeing these other people's lives and they haven't had the time to process that, because they're fucking young. They're 13, 14 years old,
and if they relate to the music and they relate to Jake, big superstar, as you do when you're a kid, pop star if you want to call him that, and he's relating to them, and he's relating to them in an easy, accessible way. It takes a lot of boxes. It's not as easy to do as sounds either. It's quite
and it was just slick. It was all slick.
And make it look like she's still on the go. Look at the way we live. I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding the world from my kid. From empty souls who just wake up and look to debate. Until you staring at your seed, you can never relate.
The line, I wasn't hiding my kid from the world, I was hiding the world from my kid, is like, I don't know what's going on with you, Drake, but like that felt like a bit of a cop out to me. It's like, come on, mate, don't blame everyone else. You made your decision. But then when he talks about until you've looked at your own seed, you can't relate. And as someone with kids, like I completely know what he's saying, and that felt like the first moment that he's publicly now owning. Didn't like the first line, but when he said that was for me the first time he's publicly owning his responsibility emotionally as a father and as a dad. And there's dads out there watching the channel, and you don't even need to be a dad. That's something that. Personally, I look to other men as somebody who had a terrible father, and just without going into depths, like daddy issues for days, I looked at other men of my age and my generation to be good dads as well, and I respect that in other people, and I think that's why this stuff with Drake, I don't know the guy, I don't know the circumstances, I don't know anything about it, and basically it's none of my business. But at the same time, that's Pusha T stuff. I was like, fuck Drake, I mean, you've kind of presented yourself as this, and is this the reality? And so when he's starting to own it on this song, and there's a couple of other songs, I'm like, I think you needed to do that for me, and that's purely personal. I'm not talking about for your career, I'm talking about for me, John.
But I think that's where it comes in, though, as well, right? Because you build up a perception of somebody, and if he hadn't have mentioned it, then you start questioning, well, what is the deal? I don't know right from wrong. And again, he didn't have to. He can do whatever he wants. It's his song. He's got the power and the money to kind of write that narrative. But I agree with you. You know, the first time that line is a bit like, that sounds it's a bit easy thing to say. But maybe that's just the way that you segue into it. Maybe you have to have something like. Maybe you did think that. I don't know.
That is what he did.
I don't know, but it's difficult. But again, it's not about what you did do. It's about what you're going to do. And really, straight away from one line, we've gone from to oh. Yeah. So he's almost owned his own story. Yeah. Which is important. And like I said, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what the situation is apart from what
how amazing he told me. Yeah. Well, how amazing is it that this song? I don't know how much of this song existed beforehand. But this is my favourite track on the record. There's a few that are up there as well. But this, either that line, this part of the song, or maybe the whole song wouldn't have existed without Pusha T.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah,
we just don't know.
Which is crazy.
And again, for a guy that is being so open and honest, I think if there are question marks elsewhere, it's best that he answers them. Again, I don't judge him for whatever he's done with his child because I don't know. I don't, have to be presented.
It's his. And hitting the woman and the child's business, ultimately.
I don't know. However, I think judge is the wrong word, but I do think, you can ask questions when you've got someone over here saying one thing and the person over here isn't responding to that. You're like, well, I don't know what the situation is. It's not a personal thing. You're just intrigued because that's what celebrity culture does.
And if I want to get attached or relate to the stuff that Drake says in his music, like so many people do, like we were talking about just before we got onto this subject, then it's important to me, again, on a personal level, that I don't think of him as a fraud, even though what he may be a fraud about isn't any of my business. You know what I mean?
I think
and that's a personal connection to an artist.
Yes, I think if he is going to go in with these sort of important themes, like we mentioned, social media or peer struggling, or again hero worship, all of that, and yet there seems to be a big hole in his own life, then you can start saying, well, where's the realness and where's the manufactured or people how real is this? But when you get that real with your own stuff, I think it's just easier as a listener to go, well, I don't think you would go there. It seems to once you go there, it kind of I could be completely wrong, but for me it kind of makes me think, okay, well, I believe all the other stuff you're saying, because you've now thrown yourself in the sort of cauldron, so I don't see why you do that. And it makes the idea of it all a lot more palatable from I actually believe what you're saying kind of a sense, as opposed to, okay, well, you're happy to touch on this, but over here, no, we can't touch that because that affects you. Yeah. That's not how that stuff works. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
100%, and I think that's what he's done with that one line, which is hence why I hadn't heard the song, haven't heard the album, knew about that line because it blew up. And you just couldn't escape it. So
I'm exhausted and drained, I can't even pretend. All these people taking miles when you give them an inch. All these followers, but who gon' follow me to the end?
Good song. I think it's again, it's one to be jumped into and dissected as we did and chatted about and all kinds of things. It's just a very interesting, again, what world we now live in where the biggest, we'll call him a pop star, you know what I mean? He's a popular artist. Yeah. I was talking about stuff like that. Yeah. I guess Michael Jackson's not the worst comparison, actually. I know there's a lot of controversy with Michael Jackson as well, but a lot of his songs are about, politics and colour and just saving the world and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he delivered in a different way, absolutely. This is probably a lot more hard hitting. Yeah. I don't know. It's just fascinating either way.
And a real talent to take something about your personal life to talk about, the reality of being a huge star. That's something rock stars have always struggled with. They have great first albums because they're angry and they've written their whole life's work into their first album.
And then they get success.
Yeah. Whereas he's managed to capture that and still make his music sound relevant, relatable, and slick and entertaining. I really like it.
I like it. Is it a song that I'd listen to as a piece of entertainment? You know what I mean? Shallow entertainment? No. But again, I always say, I sound like an idiot, but as a piece of art, excellent. Yeah. Like, genuinely fascinating, tells you a story. If you don't know about all this stuff going around, it encourages you to go and learn and understand and progress and evolve and all those things. And to do that in a 5-minute and 2-second song is no bad thing whatsoever. Good stuff. Liked it. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know where else you want us to go on the album. I think we're going to do a few, but still, let us know, because that way, if a new one comes up, we can say look at it in the future. Loads of stuff down here. Come follow us. Come say hello. And thank you very much.
And remind us where we need to go in the past as well, because we've had loads of sporadic Drake requests. But yeah, remind us under this video where we need to go for his
what
past
is the
stuff.
Drake song that turned you on to Drake? Do that and we can take it from there.
Yeah. All right, and we'll catch you on the next one.